Bum ba da da dee da da dee da 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 dum. Bum ba dee da dee da da ba da 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 ba dum. Bum ba da dee da 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 dee da 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 dum. Bum ba da dee da da ba da 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 dum. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are, and welcome to this special edition of the Joyful Path and the Tuesday telecast from there. I'm Lydia Laurie Bustler, your host, and I am here for this incredible opportunity to just share some gratitude. And I have a lot of it to share, and I think that probably everybody does. So I would love it if you would, whatever you're grateful for, just keep dropping it in the show notes, and I can shout it out. Right now, I just want to talk about the fact that, it's hard to notice our gratitude when we're busy being scared and blaming. And so we have to be intentional. And something I didn't really realize at every point in my life. You can't just expect people to know how to be grateful, believe it or not. You can't just expect people to know how to be compassionate, believe it or not. Everybody learns this stuff, and some people I have a greater tendency toward compassion. That came to me so easily as a kid. And I am learning gratitude and realizing that it's been there all along, but how do I call it out? So I want to shout out, hi Zion, I am grateful for you. Hi Carrie, I am grateful for you too. And I just had this incredible experience and just feel really connected to humanity right now. I was at the Vermont Quick Lube in on South Barry Road in Barry, Vermont, and I got helped out really well. I was there just as they were opening. They have this great service where you can go in and just pull up to the door and before they open, which I was, and they'll just get you right in. You don't have to have an appointment. You don't have to do anything premeditated. They'll just get you right in. So I was there for my oil change, and then they said, "Whoa, you need your tires done." And I said, "Actually, I've got some winter tires because it snows up here, and we're having an ice storm today, which is interesting." But uh, and I said, "They're at home." They said, "Bring them back and we'll get you in." They said, "There's a lot of people in line, but," um, and I brought them back and they pulled me right in the same place and they got me out, in and out. Really wonderful service, really nice guys. So I want to shout out Matt and Dominic and Tim and Scotty because those guys will take care of you and they all took care of me today. So I also want to shout out my gratitude for my week, my life, my dog, and the things that have been just really making me feel connected to humanity. And again, I got to step outside of that, like what am I scared of? What am I and am I blaming anyone for that? Because there's nothing that anybody is ever trying to do, believe it or not, to start out hurting us, but we take that in and we take it so personally. And when we let that go and say, "Wait, what am I grateful for?" It can all fade away. It's a good way to get into that place of where you're not attached to that story of blame. And I love Thanksgiving. This is Thanksgiving week in the United States. And it's just a great opportunity to shout out gratitude. It's also a great opportunity to get together with the friends and family or friends or whoever we want to get together with and just be. Not do our work, not do, but just be. Prepare a meal together or receive a meal or give a meal. And it's a really beautiful, beautiful holiday. And we can stay stuck and say, okay, there are lots and lots of Native Americans who were here first, and we should not call out any gratitude on this because we don't deserve the gratitude. Hold on, that happened, and us being grateful and grateful for the land we're on and grateful for everyone who was there at that time who is Native American, everyone who still is here now and is of Native American descent. I am of Native American descent. It's not the biggest part of me, but I am grateful. And and that was a terrible thing that happened. And I'm grateful that it's not happening anymore. And the things that are happening now, I'm grateful for the people who care and who are compassionate and who are positive because that's what's going to make the difference. So, speaking of positivity, I want to shout out my Positivity Audio Room team. And Zion is in the house, he's in the audience. And I want to shout out Zion. I want to shout out Annie. I want to shout out Isa. I want to shout out Jamie. And I want to shout out Simona. And if you haven't been there, we have a great audio room at about not about the same time, about 3 hours later than now on Fridays. And you can come in, and there will be anywhere from 45 to 60 people in the audience coming up and being positive and grateful. And this isn't toxic positivity. This is like actual care for one another and lifting one another up. And it's real. And the more we share that, the more there is. So share what it is. Don't be yourself and share what it is that you are grateful for. Share what it is that you like and shout it out and get the vibration more on the up and up, because then we actually all get along. And that's our natural state. And I'm so grateful for that natural state of getting along and being part of humanity. Today, I was out there in this ice storm, and it was really early in the morning, and it started up, and I made it through, and people were going really slow. But I got where I needed to go. I got my contacts from the eye, from Shippy Eye Care. I'm going to shout them out too. 'Cause they had them just ready for me, and they're going to give me a free follow up to just check and make sure everything's all fitting well. And it's beautiful. As it's raining and it's slippery, and it's still beautiful. And we're all shared. We all have a shared experience. We're all part of this. So, another thing that I am super grateful for is my place in the octopus movement. Um, all the all my friends and people that I love in the octopus movement, Perry and Irma and Karen and Carrie, who we saw here just a little while ago, and Jennifer, Janice, Michaela, and saying her name wrong, and Anshar and Mark, Michael, Chrissy, Andrew, Winston, Amit. So many people. I can't possibly shout everybody out enough, because there's so many people on there. And please, if I didn't say your name, I'm actually not the best with titles. So just having this all, you're all here anyway, and this is I'm grateful for that. I'm so grateful for the octopus movement. I'm grateful for a project more of a more than a project, and a something monumental that we are creating, me and Carrie and Jennifer and Amit. And there's gonna be some amazing stuff for you to see very soon in the way of film and access to being part of film. And that's just really all I'm going to say about it right at the moment. I am I'm so intensely grateful for the amount of care that people put in to their life and the life of others around them when it's around Thanksgiving in the United States. And some people keep that going all the time. And the more we realize that all that stuff that is just bugging us, it's not real, that it's part of us. It's not part of us. It's just not. It doesn't have to be our story at all, and we can turn it around. I've got some other people. We've got Ice Storm, Zoix, yes, and this is LinkedIn user. Sometimes LinkedIn doesn't name who people are, so I apologize. But yeah, Ice Storm. Uh, Huzzah for the octopus movement. That may or may not be the same LinkedIn user, and there are octopi. And um, thank you. I'm sure I know who you are, and I maybe have already shouted you out. I don't know, but thank you for being here in the audience too. There's so much that we can do that will get in the way of that gratitude. We can we can sit and focus on how hard something was and continue to focus on it. But what's happening in that is that we're actually increasing our own chemicals that cause us stress. We don't have to keep dealing with the thing that was difficult, the thing that was hard. We can be grateful for what we learned from that thing that was hard, from that thing that was hard, we may have gone in a different direction. From that thing that was hard, we may have we may have given up on something and something better might have come along. And we just can't know. And that's a beautiful thing. Something that I'm really grateful for is that I've realized that uncertainty is so cool because it's full of all these possibilities like that I haven't thought of in my little pea brain, right? And no offense to you if you don't have a pea brain, but honestly, there is so much possible in uncertainty, including all the good things that you haven't thought of. Have you thought of every good thing? I don't think so. I, we rarely know everything. We think we know, and when we know in our brains, and and then something goes wrong, our brains do that little spinny thing, like on the computer, and it's not. It As soon as we go in and realize, like just that our heart wants to know more, that our gut is saying, yeah, that's safe or that's not safe. And we can actually stop that spinning and say, yeah, my heart wants to know more. I'm more curious instead of upset that I can't figure out why this thing isn't being the way I expect it to. We have the ability to be very, have neuroplasticity, to have the ability to have space in between our thoughts. And in this space, We don't judge the fact that we don't know something, and we might actually learn more about that thing. We may change our mind. I love that we are able to do that. Or we can just breathe and focus on the breath and just hyperventilate. That's not going to help us. Although it gets some oxygen in there. But we can, really breathe. We can really notice the the timbre of the voice of the person talking to us. We can notice their eyes. We can notice things, and we can just say, "Huh, I don't feel so stressed anymore." It's something that we can do. We can notice that we're so grateful for the sleep that we got, even if it was just a little sleep. So grateful for the drink that we just had, cold, warm, fizzy. What have you drank lately? And have you thought about how nice that actually is and how much you need that? And there it is. We can always drink something. That's pretty amazing. And we can think about what is good in the thing that we do know. What is good? What feels good in the thing that we're curious about? And oh my goodness, I'm going to shout out curiosity because isn't that fun? Eh, When we're curious about something, I mean, even you can put yourself down about the rabbit holes you get into, but some of them you learn a lot, right? And they're pretty fun. So what do you want to know right now? What are you really super curious about? Can you give yourself the permission to sink into that for a little bit? Because if you can, that's an amazing ability, an amazing skill, and and I would consider being grateful for that. I'm grateful for all of you who have that ability to sink into something that you're truly curious about. Because then I get to hear about it. And sometimes that's just amazing for me. So thank you for all of you. Don't diss your squirrel brains too quickly because sometimes it's a really good thing. And think about what you've created in your life. What has been your the passion that you've put into something? Perhaps it was playing a piece of music. Perhaps you were dancing. Perhaps you wrote something. Maybe you made a pie. Maybe you made some good sauce. Maybe you made someone feel better. Maybe you built a company. Maybe you built a congregation. Maybe you reached out to someone in that congregation and helped them feel better. Maybe you changed a tire. Maybe you fixed a wall. Maybe you built a walkway. Maybe you served a beverage. What have you done that you really just put your passion into? It doesn't have to be big, but that thing is is beautiful, and you are beautiful for doing that. And we can feel beautiful for receiving that, for being part of that company, for being able to walk on that walkway, for being able to drink that beverage. These are the things that are all around us. The more you look, it's like the air is sparkling because you are noticing all the energy in it. That energy's there and it comes around you and envelops you with good things, unless you don't notice it and you notice instead all the things that you could be scared of. If you're scared of that uncertainty, here's my suggestion is to just consider all the good things in that uncertainty. They are rampant and wildly abundant. All the things you haven't thought of, all the things nobody's thought of, because in that uncertainty could be something better than you've ever had. So fear not and put ahead of that all the good things that you see. So, gratitude. This is something that we've had and been talking about for a long time. And I'm going to swing back to the idea that we don't necessarily get it right away. We don't necessarily get love right away. We don't necessarily get compassion right away. We don't, these are basic concepts, right? But they're not. They're complicated, right? And but we say, oh, everybody knows how to love. Everybody knows how to be compassionate. Some people are really bad at it, but well, and some people are really good at it and they don't think they know how to do it. Why? Because they just never called it that. And sometimes when you're a kid and you don't see something, there's not a lot of compassion that's been given to you. You don't name it. And you end up being a nurse or a veterinarian or someone really super compassionate. And you say, yeah, I really have trouble with this compassion thing. I've met a lot of people like this. And no, they don't have any trouble with the compassion thing. It's really beautiful that little place that's scared that we don't know something. And really, it's been right there in our heart all along. That's kind of how it was, full disclosure here for me and gratitude. I, for some reason, just missed the boat on what that was. And I had and continue to have this exquisite sense of awe. Just go out the door and be in awe at the formation of the clouds, at the color at the base of them, at the birds singing, at the squawking going on, at the sound of the train that is so, so loud and reverberant and comes, through the valley and make sure that everybody's safe. Like, I just would, and the engine on those trains and all these things bring me awe really easily, really, really easily. The resonance between two notes, that interval would bring me awe because of the way it made me feel and all of the thoughts that would open up just from those two notes. And I realized after a while that all those things that I appreciate deeply, that bring me awe, that bring me gladness, that bring me like astonishing amounts of reverence, I'm grateful for those. That's what gratitude is. The little things, the little bite of something that you said, "Oh my goodness, that has changed my day." That's gratitude. So, and it doesn't matter what you call it. We can call it your third toe. It doesn't matter as long as you actually notice it and acknowledge it. That's why I'm here today. And I'm going to wrap it up in a minute. because there's only so long that I need to talk about this. But you need to get out there and say thank you to someone. Shout them out. I'm really grateful for the people at the Vermont Quick Lube. They took care of making me safe, and I could just get right in there. And they were super happy and super able to really tell me what was going on and respect me. Because I haven't always gone to car places and been respected. Sometimes I've been disrespected, and actually, I know a bit about cars. I'm not dumb about them. I'm not. I'm also not a mechanic, but um, never assume what people know. And just having somebody treat me just normally and conversationally and be happy at their job, it's beautiful. Um, so I highly recommend them, and I'm really happy to shout them out. So if you are watching this as on Team Replay, you can put in the show notes, hashtag Team Replay or hashtag replay, and you can shout out who you're grateful for, what you're grateful for, and anybody here can continue to to show what it is that they're grateful for after the show is done. Just keep bringing it out and let it shine. This is the most beautiful flag you could wave. Just give it a shot. So, all my friends in the United States, I wish you a joyous and happy and fulfilling Thanksgiving and travel mercies, safe travels wherever you're going, and safe travels for those traveling to you. I'm grateful for everybody who's been on in the audience today and for all of you who are watching this after the fact and in the audience later. If you know somebody who would like to be on this show, you can put those in the comments as well, or you can contact me through one of the platforms where you're watching this now. This is a special episode, and next week we will be going into season 6 of the Tuesday telecast. Can you believe it? And on season 6, we're going to have a few new people who've never been on the show, and then we're going to have another group of roundtables. So if you are a roundtable fan, you're in luck. We're going to talk about a lot of really positive subjects that we can, and it's a very free flowing thing. So roundtables coming up. And if you are on YouTube or you are on Facebook or you are on LinkedIn and you are watching this and you like this and it brings you value, please hit like, and I'd appreciate the share if this is something that brings you value, that would bring value to other people. And if you haven't done it yet and you would like more, then please gently push the subscribe button. I appreciate you, and I will see you next week and maybe before here on the airways. Be grateful, be safe. Appreciate you. Ciao. Bum ba da da dee da da dee da 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 da. Bum ba dee da dee da da ba da 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 ba dum. Bum ba da dee da 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 dee da 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 dum bum ba da dee da ba da 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 dum